Hello, everybody, and welcome into After the Game Indiana Basketball. Today, we're joined at great pleasure to be joined by Ted Kitchel, brought to you, of course, by our good friends at Southern Stone Restaurant, located in Bloomington, located at the corner of Patterson and Rogers, where you can also find Inside Indiana men's basketball. Coach Woodson will be there Monday night at 7:05 with Fish. Ted Kitchel, thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you asking. Thanks.
You had an opportunity a few weeks ago to fill in for Eric Sewer on the radio broadcast. What was that like for you?
Well, not much different than, I did 15 years. I was the TV commentator. So being on TV, you have to kind of be careful and not, it's live TV. When you're on live TV, you want to make sure that you don't say something you shouldn't.
Yeah, it's a different day than it
Yeah, and then I still do the webcasting for Center Grove football. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, I'm still behind the mic once in a while, and I've watched Center Grove win 2 state championships over the past couple of years, led by Trace Jackson's little brother, Taven, who had a fantastic year. So it was good to see him here today.
Yeah, off to Tennessee, he's going up.
Yeah, they've got some great players. Eric Moore's done a tremendous job there at Center Grove.
Well, everybody enjoyed the broadcast. Everybody was raving about it. So they'll have to bring you back every now and then.
When you're working with a Hall of Famer like Don Fisher, it makes life pretty easy. I just got to jump in there once in a while with a small comment here or there because he does such a great job of calling the game. He's a blessing to listen to.
He certainly is, and Indiana fans are fortunate to have him. Speaking of All-Americans, 2-time All-American, 2-time Big Ten national champion. You had a great career yourself playing here at Indiana. And, of course, now to have Mike Woodson. Mike Woodson is the first IU graduate to lead the program since the coach before Coach Knight.
Lou Watson. Yeah, it's great to have Woody back. I played with Woody for 2 years. He was just such a tremendous player. First of all, he's a tremendous person. I mean, he's just a good man, and it's so nice to have him back. And I think you see a lot of this team already in him. They don't always play perfect, but they fight, and they continue to fight. I mean, being down 19 or 20 the other night at Syracuse to come back away from home and play like they did. And even tonight, I mean, they struggled. They turned the ball over a lot early. I know it's got to frustrate Coach Woodson, but they continue to fight. They stay focused on what they're trying to get done, and they were able to come out with a big victory here tonight.
Yeah, Nebraska, I watched them play North Carolina State the other night in the ACC Big Ten Challenge, and I was tweeting, you better lock it down, Indiana fans. Don't be thinking it's going to be a rollover because they took a North Carolina State team, which is a pretty decent team, on the road to 4 overtimes. So that's a lot of fight in the team.
Yeah, they have a lot of fight also, and I think that comes from we rave about our coach, Mike Woodson, but their coach, Fred Hoiberg, obviously known as the mayor. I mean, his team's going to fight. I mean, and, they've struggled over the past couple of years, but now he's getting some of his guys in there, and they know what he wants to accomplish. And I thought they had a lot of grit here tonight. Nebraska played very hard, hung in there for, about 35 minutes. The last 5 minutes, Indiana kind of took control of the basketball game, but Fred Hoiberg is a heck of a coach, and I'm not surprised that his team continues to improve.
Indiana, of course, led by All-American Trace Jackson Davis. Not his best day today, but when that happens, it's good to see your team fight through all of that. Trace Jackson still with 14 points on only 5 of 11 shooting. It just seemed like the shots just wouldn't fall. They were going in, and it wasn't Nebraska was giving them this pressure, but it just looked like the shots were not falling for anybody at the beginning.
Yeah, we struggled. There was 8 or 9 times where we had it in layup type range, and it kind of bounced off the rim. You would have thought that we would have gotten those in. It is nice to see that he got 4 or 5 from the free throw line. He still had 7 rebounds. But tonight, what they did is, when they were man-to-man, they were leaning towards him. So they always had a guy behind him. As soon as the ball went into him, they're double-teaming him. And then they played a lot of zone also, too. And he's got to learn a little bit how to work underneath the zone. You kind of want to work behind the zone and work behind and up through the zone. You don't want to be in front of the zone where they can see you. You want to work behind it, work along the baseline and then pop up. And so it's just a learning curve. And that Woody will work with him on things like that, but it's going to be difficult. He's not going to have 30-point nights when they play zone, because in the Big Ten they know how good he is. They know what he's accomplished. They're gonna always watch for that right shoulder. He likes to go left. He's a left-handed guy. He needs to come out every day and practice and continue to work on going left, going right. If I go left 5 times, I need to go right 5 times. I need to catch the ball at the free throw line, shot fake, and drive, because he's got foot quickness that people guarding him can't handle. I mean, he's quicker than the people that are going to guard him, so he needs to catch. He can't just be a postman. I mean, you just can't stand down there on the block and hope to score points. He's going to have to come up to the free throw line, get the ball, shot fake, and then drive to the basket.
And he's doing a good job of that, but he has to learn, because, like you said, he is going to face that night in and night out.
Every night.
The Big Ten is just chock full of teams that have big guys: Purdue, Illinois, Michigan. You just keep going down the line, and they're going to just beat on you.
Oh, yeah.
Watch these teams the other night, and man, oh, man, Kofi Coburn's a man in a man's body.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a defensive tackle, playing for the Bears or something, but he's big, he's powerful. Last night I watched Purdue play, and they not only have Edey, who's very, very big, but they have another All-American coming off the bench who's just as good and probably better offensively. So there's going to, every night you're going to have to prepare yourself mentally and physically to play, and you've got to figure out. Trace has to figure out that he needs to figure out some way to get Indiana 15 to 20 points every night. They're going to have to get 15 or 20 from him every night if they expect to win basketball games, especially when they go on the road. And a lot of that has to do with free throw shooting. Comes down to the end, you can't be the guy that they go over and tackle, because they know you can't hit free throws. You got to show them that you can hit free throws. And he showed me the other night at Syracuse to walk up to the line with no time left on the clock, down 2, and he made 2 free throws. He's capable of shooting 80% from the free throw line. It's just concentration. You have to take every free throw has to be just as important as those 2 were the other night, and you have to make it just as important. And that just comes down to concentration. This team can shoot free throws if they concentrate on what they're doing.
Yeah, the free throw shooting has come around today. 82%, 14 of 17. They were perfect. 9 of 9. They hit their first 9, or 10 or 11 maybe. Before they were 11 of 12. I think Trace missed one, but that is critical to this team. The 3-point shooting has turned around. Again, today they shoot 36%. They were at 40% at one time. But these are numbers that Indiana has not shown in a couple of years. So that's all very important. And now you add the defensive mechanism to that, and it's just a team now that just has to continue to get better.
Yeah, I mean, the 3-point shooting, I think, has been really good. I mean, Parker Stewart has done an outstanding job. The other night, Kopp, he did a nice job of shooting. Tonight, he couldn't find the basket. He was 0 for 2. Race Thompson, he was 0 for 2 from 3-point. I mean, you take those 2 guys away, and Indiana probably shoots over 50% from the 3-point line. So there's certain guys that you need to shoot the basketball well. I mean, obviously Parker Stewart, Kopp needs to shoot it well, and I think even Fennessy, I think he took 3 tonight. He was 1 of 3. So those guys, in today's game with the 3-point line the way it is, you have got to have at least 2 and maybe 3 guys on the floor at all times who can hit the 3. If not, especially if you have a big man inside like Trace, they're going to just, sit on top of him back there knowing that you can't hit the 3. All of a sudden, you start shooting the 3 and making the 3. Now teams have to guard that. Now it opens up for you. It opens up for Trace. The 3-point line is tremendously important in today's game, and you just have got to have guys who can shoot it.
Parker Stewart, you mentioned, had a slow start to the season, shooting the ball, trying to find his rhythm. Now he is, I believe, 21 of 43 for 49% on the season. In today's 3-point, with it moved back as it's been moved back, those numbers are sharp. 49% is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can shoot over, I think it's 33%. I mean, 33% is as good as 50% from the 2-point line. So, I came to Hoosier Hysteria, and as soon as I saw him shoot the first 2 or 3 times, I said, he's our best 3-point shooter. I could just tell by his action. It's very, very good. Kopp, obviously, is probably the second best shooter. And even Bates is a good 3-point shooter. The thing I love about him is, he might only be a freshman, but he's not afraid. He's not afraid to take big shots. He's not afraid to take 3-pointers. Got to love a guy that's got tremendous confidence in himself as he does. But they've got guys. Finney just needs to have some confidence. I mean, this kid is a great player. He's capable. I mean, the one play he made tonight where he got into the lane and left-handed it off the glass. I mean, he just needs to have some confidence. Somebody needs to get up and tell him every day, hey, do you realize how good you are? You're a great player. Act like it, Get out there and lead this team, and when they leave you open, knock down those shots. Don't lose your confidence.
Yeah, he was asked in the post-game presser about shooting and shots not going down. He goes, it doesn't matter to me. He said, if I miss 10, he goes, I'm taking the 11. He's
good.
A shooters shoot. He's got the shooter's mentality, and I think Woody is probably banging it onto him because he sees like you do. He sees the abilities. He's a talented kid. He's calling him a kid, but he's a talented player. You can just see it. He's natural. He's a natural athlete.
Now, which one are you speaking of?
Kamar Bates.
Bates. Oh, yeah. He's a tremendous athlete. Lefty. Has great rotation on his shots. Does a nice job of shot faking. Gets defender on their toes.
For a freshman, he just seems he's a step ahead, fundamentally wise.
Yeah, I mean the first I was down. Randy Whitman was kind of consulting a little bit, watching Woody's team play, and the first time I saw Whit, he says, "You'll love this number 53, this Bates kid." He says the thing you love most about him is he's confident. He said he's not afraid and he's confident. Now, that doesn't mean that he isn't going to throw the ball away once in a while and he's going to take some bad shots. But you just can't instill confidence, in people. They either have it or they don't. And he's got it.
Especially for a freshman
because,
at this level.
I watch guys like Michael Jordan. He's not afraid. He don't care if he's missed 8 or 9 in a row. He's going to make the next one. I love Steph Curry. He's not afraid. Love people that play the game not afraid and always looking forward, and that's the way the Bates kid is. He's going to be a tremendous player here at IU.
Trace Jackson-Davis, we talked a little bit about him. He's the All-American that leads this team, and you talked about he's not going to be able to be that guy every night because they're going to focus on him, especially with some of the better teams, with the bigger teams. Purdue, like we talked about. The other guys are going to have to step up. Miller Kopp he's still seems like he's searching for his role. He seems like he finds it, and then he kind of goes on days where today he was 0 for 5. Not a great shooting day for him, but he contributes in other ways. He's a veteran ball player. What does he need to do more for this team?
Well, I mean, you look at his stat line, and he was 0 for 5, 0 for 2 from 3-point. He had 3 assists, which is good, 3 rebounds, which is fine, but he had 4 turnovers. You just can't have that many turnovers from your guards. I mean, for that fact, anywhere I see, right below him, Trace Jackson had 4 turnovers. I mean,
last time Trace had 7. In the
yeah, and see, that's 7 times down the floor where you're not even going to get a shot at the basket. Okay, I mean, and you think, okay, this team shoot 50% from the, shooting the ball 50%. So that's 7 times. That's 14, maybe 18, 20 points. And you're not, even if, if you just don't turn it over, you have a chance of probably scoring 8 or 10 points right there that you just thrown away by having turnovers. So you just can't turn the basketball over. But Kopp just needs to stay consistent, take good shots. Don't rush. When he rushes, shot clock gets late and he has to go one-on-one. That's when he struggles a little bit. But the people believe in him. He believes in himself. So just, it's not going to be easy in the Big Ten because everybody knows what you do. They know what you like to do. They know what you do best. And they're going to try to take it away from you. So they're going to try to make Kopp put the ball on the floor. They're going to make Jackson-Davis go right. I mean, Trace, he's going to have to, he's doing better job of going left and spinning back to his right, But, I mean, the other teams have scouted you. They've got film on you. They're watching it every day, and they're going to try to take away the things you like to do best.
Now, Indiana has a couple more games in between, but they've started Big Ten play with Nebraska. Kind of a nice, if you're going to break into Big Ten play, at home against Nebraska is probably a good road for that. But unfortunately, up next is a trip to Wisconsin, a place where Indiana has not done well since Bob Knight, basically the Bob Knight era. I mean, it has really turned.
I don't know that they ever did beat Bo Ryan. If when he was coach, I don't think they ever beat him.
I don't think Crean did. No.
Well, you're going to get more of the same with Wisconsin. They're not very pretty to watch, and after watching them play, they played Houston the other night, and I would have thought Houston was probably 20 points better than them. Yet at the end of the game, who won? Wisconsin won. Wisconsin is used to playing in 2-3-point games. Has no problem playing with that. They're good free throw shooting team down the end. Again, yesterday I watched them, or I think it was yesterday I watched them play. They struggled again, but still they won. They know how to win. Brad Davidson's been there. I think this is his 15th year that he's been at Wisconsin, but he's been there a long, long time. I think 6 years.
It's like
but,
George Bohannon in Iowa. That's what I keep saying about him. I'm like, dude, he's been there. What's he got, like 6 graduate degrees?
But Davidson, he's their leader. They've got a great. They got one great athlete. I forget what his name is. But anyway, he's very, very good. But other than that, they just got a bunch of grinders. They're going to make you work for everything that you get. It's a game, similar to like a Virginia. They're going to play you in the 50 to 60 range is where they like to play point-wise. And they're going to play late into the shot clock. They're going to make you work 30 seconds every time down the floor defensively and make it tough on you. So that's how they play. I mean, they don't have a talent like a Purdue has right now or things like that, but you know that they're going to be there every night. They're going to grind away, and they're more than happy to play a 50, 60-point game and win by 2. That's who they are, and that's what they're going to do, and they do it very, very well.
That is true. Now with Woody being the head coach here, are you coming to more games? Do you find yourself at more games? Were you coming before a lot, or are you coming more now?
I'm coming a lot more.
I kind of knew the answer to that, but
this is my 3rd or 4th game I've been to this year. I haven't been to 4 games in the last 5 years, probably before that. But
how much more fun is it now to come back out to a game?
Well, it's a lot more fun. I mean, and knowing Woody as I do and having the great appreciation for what he is and what he's all about, I just love to watch his team fight. I mean, they're not afraid. They're going to grind it out, and they need to because they're not going to win by 20 points. They're just not good enough to do that right now. But, I enjoy coming back. Woody has made it very nice as a former player for you to come back. He really encourages you to come back, come in the locker room, say hey to the guys, say hey to the coaching staff. It's fantastic, and I think the way it should be.
Absolutely. Have you seen a lot of other guys able to get back yet? I know it's early in the season. I talked to a lot of them as well, and they're like, yeah, man, I'm coming back. Can't wait to get back.
I mean, obviously Whitman, he lives in Florida, but he is doing some consulting, so he's been back a lot. I saw Abernathy and Green, and I think Hillman's maybe been back. But Eisenbarger, a lot of guys that, back. We're all getting very old now. So, but back in our time, that it was great to see all those guys, and obviously Buckner and Scotty May and people like that are very close with Woody. So, but I just feel like it's important not only to come back and I want to watch the team play, but I want to support Mike Woodson and everything he's about and what he's doing with this program because I know. He's going to bring in some great recruits and people that really know how to play the game, and he's going to do a great job in bringing this great basketball program back to the tradition that it once had.
And I think that spreads because the fans, everyone out there can see and feel that when the inside is just welcoming. It's just a palpable thing. You can see it when they see your face here in the crowd, when they see whether it's Randy Whitman or whomever that's here. you start to see that and get that feeling, and that is a feeling that has been very deep since Woody took over.
Yeah, I mean, I came back for Hoosier Hysteria. My daughter and I came, and it was great to see Isaiah, for Isaiah to come out, from New York to just show his support to Woody. And I got a chance to go out to dinner with Isaiah. I don't get to see him that much, but obviously I played with him the 2 years that he was here. And I was fortunate enough to play with great players like, Mike Woodson and Isaiah Thomas were probably the two greatest players that I ever played with here in Indiana. But just seeing the support that everybody wants to give Woody and show him the love that we all have for him, and we know what a great job he's going to do. And I think the fans are starting to see it. It's nice to see people in the balcony. There were a few years where there just wasn't very many people here watching. So it's great to bring those guys back and to come support.
Absolutely. Well, man, it has been a blast having you on here today, and people are loving it as well. I'd love to have you back whenever you want to come on. We do this after every game, and like I said, we've had Joe Hillman comes on with us a lot. Riz has been on. We're trying to get as many different players as possible to get.
Well, give me a call at any time. I'm more than happy to do it. I love talking about Woody. I love talking about Indiana basketball. But so I'm available most any time.
Well, we appreciate you. Ted Kitchel joining us here on Indiana Sports Beats after the game. Brought to you, of course, by our good friends at Southern Stone Restaurant. That's located at Patterson and Rogers here in Bloomington. Make sure you stop by Monday night. Inside Indiana basketball with Mike Woodson, and Fish will be there as well. So big thanks to everybody. John, the producer. Most of all, thanks to you guys. Without you, we couldn't do it. Until Monday morning, I'm Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio.